The Ministry of Health has suggested for an update on the national fatwa given in 1970 on whether the scope of organ donation can be expanded to other organs and tissues, as the percentage of organ donors is lower compared to other Islamic countries, and the Islamic fatwa issued on 1970 only conferred to donation of heart and eyes. Here, it begs the question on whether or not the practice of organ donation is highly accepted and not considered as taboo, taking into account of the differing opinions and perspectives from the medical practitioners, Islam views, and scholars from bioethics.
Morning, Auni. How are you feeling today? Have you eaten anything this morning?
Hi Dr. Wan, I am not feeling really well today as I did not have enough sleep yesterday. I only ate a small portion of porridge just now.
Oh, my dear sister, you are supposed to eat more than that. You are in your third stage of cancer. Do you want to give up or fight for a future?
Your sister and I have been worried sick for a whole week with your poor appetite. You need to eat to nourish your body so that you will gain more energy, dear sister. We are all at your disposal. Just tell us what you want to eat and we'll prepare for you the next time we come visiting you. We're all rooting for you to be healthy again.
So, Auni, since your family members are here, we have something to discuss with you. Perhaps it is a valuable gift that might change your life.
What is it, doctor? Is it something that can improve my health? We have tried so many different methods. You told me the only way to cure this cancer is when someone is willing to give their kidney to me.
You are right. Fortunately, after undergoing some tests, I am able to donate one of my kidney to you. And today, Dr. Wan will be explaining further about this organ donation.
Dr. Wan, if I may interject, I thought in order for a person to be eligible to be an organ donor, the procedure could only be done only after the death of the donor. How is it that my wife here is able to donate one of her kidneys to her sister? To my knowledge, I do not recall any memory of her registering as an organ donor. I'm having trouble understanding as to how she qualifies as a donor for an organ transplant, and I hope you can give me some clarification perhaps.
No, Faris. Actually, organ donation is divided into two categories, which are deceased donation and living donation. Each donation must endure a different type of procedure to make the organ transplantation eligible in the eye of law. Therefore, Nasir is deemed to be a living donor and is eligible to donate her organ.
Oh, how do we know if my wife here and Auni are compatible for them to proceed with the procedure, doctor?
Oh, I have done some research regarding this, and based on Organ Procurement and Transplantation Network, when an organ donation is made, factors such as compatibility of blood, tissue types, and severity of illness are taken into consideration. As me and Nas are sisters, so there is a high compatibility that her kidney is suitable for me. However, doctor, is it legal for someone who is still alive to donate their organs?
Yes, in Malaysia, we do have a specific Human Tissue Act that was gazetted in 1974. It is a brief and only provide the use of part of human bodies of deceased person for therapeutic purposes and for purposes of medical education and research. Hence, the 1974 Act only cover those who are deceased and not living donors. It is the author's view that there is a pressing need for Parliament to pass legislation that will also protect the right of potential life donors.
On top of that, it is wrong to make surgery and take someone's organ without their permission. It is because some doctor or medical practitioner might have a bad intention in undergoing the surgery, either to sell it at a black market or any illegal organ trading. So here, by having a consent card and following the procedure provided by the government, all this bad intention can be avoided. And in your situation, Auni, your sister Nas has already registered as an organ donor a few years ago and has given consent to donate her kidney.
But doctor, as a husband, don't I have a say in this? I'm fully aware of a patient's autonomy. However, I believe that you are putting so much intrafamilial emotional pressure on Nasir as she feels compelled to give her consent, as she is biologically related to Auni. Therefore, as a member of this family, I believe I still have veto and refuse for Nas to go through the procedure.
Faris, Allow me to explain before we make any hasty decision, as time is of the essence. Nasya is a competent adult and she is able to think for herself, as she already decided to register as an organ donor, and in fact already has her own card prior to this consultation, which indicate there is voluntariness in her decision for the kidney transplant procedure. As in our grave situation here, it demonstrates that decision on the acceptability of a living donor cannot simply be deducted from the principle of autonomy.
Thank you for thoroughly explaining the concept of informed consent to me, Dr. Wan.
Doctor, I have a question. Are we allowed to sell our organ to others, since I have read somewhere that organs are highly demanded and therefore the value of the organ is high?
Did you want to know? I have once received a visit from a donor who wished to sell his organ because he need money. But as you can see, this act clearly has violated the legal and moral perspective. Thus, it cannot be done.
I have read somewhere before where a famous ethicist said that humans should always justiciable means to attain their end result. The payment of human organs is considered to be immoral because it uses human beings as the means for others to earn their living. The value of human beings is beyond all prices.
However, from what I have read previously, organ removal is considered as haram or prohibited according to minority of Islamic scholars. This opinion was derived from Surah Al-Baqarah verse 195 and can be further proven with the legal maxim, which means that everything that is removed or separated from the living, then it is considered as its carcass. Here, the scholar has mentioned that all parts of the human body belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that any parts that is apart from its body will be considered as najis or impure, and donation of the najis is prohibited according to Shafi'i school of law.
May I add some input to help you understand this issue, Faris? Okay, in June 1970, the first conference of the Fatwa Committee of National Council for Islamic Religious Affairs has convened, where they have discussed the transplantation of heart and eye. Here, they have come to the decision that both organ donation from a deceased person to a living person is permissible in Islam.
As precisely stated in the National Fatwa, organ donation permissible in Islam if the elements are fulfilled. First, the donation happened in desperate situation and the only way to save him is by organ transplant. Secondly, the death of the donor must be confirmed before the heart transplant surgery is performed. And lastly, there should be necessary steps and precautions made by the authority to prevent any human organ trafficking and killing persons for an organ.
Nas, we should do some risk assessment first, even though the scientific community has determined that a donation of a kidney is not life-threatening. However, it is not without harm. There are the potential harms of the surgical procedure and those associated with living with a single kidney, which can be a long-term effect. You may never participate in any sports anymore, even though you enjoy playing sports.
Oh Faris, not to worry, those are rare cases and I'm sure I am able to survive the transplant procedure as I trust Dr. Wan as our transplant surgeon. Trust me, I can still live and lead a normal, healthy life after my kidney is donated and able to do all the activities like before.
Just like Nas has mentioned before, based on the National Fatwa, the other conditions that need to be fulfilled before undergoing the surgery that are related to our situation is that Nas, she will not suffer any disabilities or harm such as loss of mobility, hearing or sight. So Faris, you don't have to worry about anything.
To answer your question, Faris, we will refer to the Selangor State Fatwa as we were in the state of Selangor. Here, the fatwa has stated that a professional medical research should be conducted regarding the effect of organ transplant on both donor and patient. Also, although part of the organ has been donated, the donor needs to have a functional organ to continue his life. For example, in our situation, Nas still has one kidney that is functional. Therefore, she will not suffer any health complication later.
I wonder, how about people who have the intention to donate their organs for beauty purposes? I hope that there are fatwas in Malaysia that specifically discuss this interesting topic.
Well, according to the official portal Mufti of the state of Terengganu, The act of having surgery for beauty purposes and not with the intention of health will be regarded as the changing of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to his creature. This act is considered to be haram as mentioned in Surah An-Nisa verse 119. Clearly, the act of having surgery for beauty purposes is prohibited in Islam and is not in line with the conditions prescribed by National Fatwa and fatwa from the state in Malaysia.
However, Faris, we should look at our situation as this is between life and death. The other opinion is that it is permissible to do organ donation, and this is the majority opinion of scholars, researchers, and fatwa institutions, including Malaysia. We can also refer to Al-Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 185, which means that our intent is for you, not hardships.
So now, Auni and Nas, both of you must prepare yourself as the operation will be carried out 2 weeks from now.
Alright, sure doctor, I will prepare my mental and physically before undergoing the operation.
Thank you, doctor, for giving me a deeper insight in regards with the issue of organ donation, and I hope the procedure goes smoothly.